So I'd like to welcome everyone and call the 2024 Annual General Meeting to order. My name is Jeff McTavish. I'm the Chairman of the Board of Directors of Event Atlantic, and with your approval, I shall preside over this meeting and shall ask Stephanie Turner, our Executive Director, to act as Secretary for this meeting. Couple housekeeping things. I want to remind everyone that the meeting is recorded, and a friendly reminder that only members of Event Atlantic can vote, which I'm not sure is necessary today. We have enough nominations coming to the board to replace those leaving, and but the floor is always open for nominations. So Stephanie, there's no scrutineer's report, so there's 41 voting members in the room, just so everyone knows. Okay, so we do have quorum. Since the required quorum members are present, I declare this meeting is duly constituted for the transaction of this business. In your package, you would have received a copy of the agenda. So do I have a motion to accept the agenda as presented? I see Wayne and I see Aaron. So I have motion by Wayne, seconded by Aaron. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, I could see a show of hands. Perfect. That's probably 4. Thank you, and I declare the agenda approved. In your package, you would have saw the meeting notes from last year, from 2023, which took place in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. And I just need a motion to do those. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the 2023 Annual General Meeting that are included in your package? I see Emma and I see Charlotte. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Any errors, admissions? Anyone notice anything? I'm glad they didn't have attendance at that one, because I probably would have been missing a couple of times. So, all those in favor? Perfect. Any objections to the minutes? Don't see any. Motion approved. Oh, sorry. I see Tanya. Oh, and that's in the minutes? Oh, okay. Stephanie said she will clear that up. I'm not yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, so I'll move into my chair's report, Stephanie. So I guess first of all, Events Atlantic has been very fortunate to have some great partners in our levels of government, federally and provincially. And you'll see there that the Government of Canada through ACOA, the Province of New Brunswick, Province of Nova Scotia, Province of Prince Edward Island, Province of Newfoundland and Labrador have all been great contributors to help us achieve our organizational goals. And so I just want to say, prior to moving into my little spiel here, that thank you very much to those partners. We have other conversations. We're getting to the end of our agreement, and we're going to be starting those up soon. But we really are thankful for the confidence you put in the board of directors and in Stephanie, our executive director, to kind of implement the plans that we had in place. And very thankful. So if I could get a round of applause for those partners, it'd be great. So there's been a lot of talk about AI today, and I think that I got the acronym a little mixed up because everyone was saying they used AI to generate their speeches and their notes and things like that, and I did too, but I thought it stood for alcohol-induced, so I apologize if there's a couple of things that are a little bit mistaken here. So, but anyway, lesson learned. I probably will make that mistake again. And I just want to give the members here, so there's some new members here, probably some folks that may be considering being a member, on the makeup of the board of directors of Events Atlantic. So there are, of course, 4 provinces that you see there that sponsor us. There's also representation from the 4 provinces. There's 2 members. In addition to that, you have your past president, who was Matt Moore. He's serving this year. And then finally, but most importantly, was the organizing, kind of I call them the legacy members, who were kind of the foundational group that came together back in 2015, 2016, Wayne, and really put this organization in motion. And that's the City of Charlottetown, Step St. John's, Events Nova Scotia, and who am I forgetting? The City of Moncton. Thank you. Thank you. So again, thank you to those organizations for getting us here today. And again, I remember a couple of years ago, Wayne reaching out to me and asking me if, would you be interested in, and we have a vacancy coming up for New Brunswick, would you be interested? So I got, came over here to Charlottetown, met the crew and met Stephanie, and this is just after we had submitted a bid and we had hosted in Miramichi, and the interesting thing for me was I found that when I met the board, although everyone is fun and we all play really hard in the evenings, the board was really focused on a couple of key things with their strategic plan, and that was growth, sustainability, governance, and accountability. And when Steph, maybe I can get you to flip through a couple of the slides here of some of the things that we've done. So, when you think about growth, we took on a new challenge. We took on a skate park tour, the Scotia Skate Park Tour, which took place in a couple of communities in Nova Scotia, and that was implemented by staff here and community members at the various locations. And we also took on some best practices. So, of course, there was the Montreal mission this winter, and then the Scotland adventure that took place last fall. And then Stephanie and members of the board are also in and around other event, like summits similar to this, but taking place in other communities around the country and North America for that matter. So we've as ambassadors for this organization, we do get to a lot of different places, and really hats off. I don't get to go to all of them. Some of them match up with my organization where I work for a living needs, but in other cases, we do have great representation. So thank you again to the board for attending those various, events. Now, I have had the pleasure of working with this particular board that I'm with now for the past 2 years, and in the final year of this year, I got to act as chair, which was a great privilege. And I would like to let you know that this year, leaving the board will be Paul McDonald. Paul's been a foundational member from the beginning, and returned to the board and has served another 2 years, but Paul's decided he might see some greener pastures, so he's going to step down this year, which creates an opening in the Nova Scotia. And for New Brunswick, I am also stepping down to create an opening for somebody else in New Brunswick. But I would like to thank Paul for all the service that not only with the board of Event Atlantic, but also just the event industry in Atlantic Canada. So if I get a little round of applause for Paul too. So thank you very much, Paul. And just to kind of close up here, so you'll see on the board, there are a number of upcoming projects that we have going on. So the summit in 2025 will be taking place in Truro. Have we announced 2026 yet? So I'm not going to do that. And then there's an RFP for 2027, and that will be in Newfoundland and Labrador. We also have some, and I don't think Grant and them are here yes, they're here later on this week or tomorrow. So we'll be presenting the Atlantic Canada hosting scorecard, which is kind of a metric to help communities and event organizers really determine the value of their event. So I think it's a great tool to have to access as a member. We're going to relaunch our current newsletter, so that's, well, I guess it's not current if we're not doing it, but we're going to get that back out again. And we also are going to be, one of the strategic plan items that we knocked off a lot of the things, but one of the things that kind of got put to the back burner temporarily was the resource portal. So we'll be reaching out to you as members to get information from you to help populate that so that we can share that. It could be funding applications or programs that you administer, best practices, guidelines, but we'd like to populate those sections on the website so that other members can have access to that and hopefully improve the way that they implement or carry on an event. And then finally, our 2025 Excellence Awards, that nominations will be coming out May 15th. So if you've got an event that you've hosted in your community or you know of an event, please reach out to us, fill out the application on their behalf and nominate them. We'd love to evaluate those and bring recognition to the achievements of Atlantic Canadians in the event industry. So I guess finally, the last thing I'd like to say is I would like to encourage you all, to look around the room here today and think about your own communities and think about who's not here, who's not represented in this group. As I mentioned earlier, the organization is really focused on growth, and one way to do that is through growth of membership. So think about, is your community a member of Event Atlantic? Is your, some of the big festivals or events that take place, some of the locations, the venues, are they members? We'd love to have the opportunity to speak with those folks. So if you want to reach out to Stephanie or any board member in your province, if you've got a recommendation, I'm sure we can reach out to those folks and try to convince them why being part of this organization is important. And again, I believe we're all stronger together, so thank you very much for listening to me rant for a few minutes. I have a whole list of things. Do you have some stuff you want to do, or? Okay, just eat. Stephanie gave me 15 slides to go through, so I'm working it, okay? Up next, we got the financial report. So I'm going to ask Charlotte Nicholson from the City of Charlottetown, who acts as the Treasurer of Events Atlantic, to come up and provide you with her report.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. So my name's Charlotte. I am the treasurer for Event Atlantic. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not an accountant, so bear with me as I go through this. And speaking of AI and transparency, ChatGPT did help me a little bit with this. We call him our friend Chad, so shout out to Chad for assisting. So we are fortunate to have a full-time bookkeeper who works with our executive director to manage our books. So the 2023 Event Atlantic Society fiscal year closed with a net loss of $41,994 that's being reported today. This deficit is being reflected due to a delay in receiving expense reimbursement for a 2023 project. So this reimbursement was not received until early 2024. So that will be reflected in the 2024 statements next year. So it is important to note that this deficit is a timing difference and doesn't reflect the overall financial health of Event Atlantic. So Event Atlantic saw a significant increase in programming in 2023, as Jeff alluded to. So therefore, there was also quite a few more HST payments, which were higher, and our claim is currently under review for that as well. Positive revenue growth over the previous fiscal year can be attributed to government partnerships, strong membership growth, and the Event Atlantic Annual Conference. Major financial commitments for the 2023 fiscal year included the continued implementation of our strategic plan and the coinciding administration and coordination that was supported financially by ACOA and all 4 provincial government partners in Atlantic Canada. 2023 was also the first full year of having the executive director as a permanent salary position. So if you want to open the income statement that's in the AGM package or take a look at the screen, I'm just going to go through that quickly. So revenue, our total revenue for the year was $203,136. The line items there are pretty self-explanatory. I will go through the expense line items quickly, as some of them just need a little bit more explanation. So conference expenses, you can see at the top, is the highest line item. That's actually a combination of several things, largely our summit expenses, various different projects that happen throughout the year, and strategic plan implementation. So strategic plan, that was our annual in-person board meeting and the best practice mission to Scotland. Accounting and legal, that's our bookkeeper's fee for 2023. Administration and coordination is payroll. Advertising, that includes subscriptions and memberships, summit giveaways, and signage. Going down to development and partnerships, that is services for our website and design. Donations, that's just donations that are given on behalf of speakers of this annual summit. Insurance is our board liability insurance. Going down to third-party conference expenses is just miscellaneous conference and event participation expenses. We have travel, which is business on behalf of Event Atlantic Society, and meals would be meals for the above line item. So the Event Atlantic Board of Directors continues to focus on prudent financial management and are taking the following actions in 2024 to ensure financial growth and stability of the organization. So those actions include a membership fee increase to align better with the industry. We have switched all members to a January renewal to assist with timing and budget reflection. And we're also working toward creating a reserve fund for the organization. So the board has worked extremely hard over the past fiscal year to ensure continued operations of the organization. So finally, I'd like to give a big shout out to our executive director, Stephanie Turner, who has worked tirelessly to advance the mandate of the organization while ensuring fiscal stewardship for our members and our partners. Thank you, Stephanie. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our government funders and to our members for your support over the past year and since we've existed. Your support is what makes the work of Event Atlantic possible, so thank you. This concludes the report. I will now ask for a motion approving the financial statements for 2023. Chris? And a seconder? Paul? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? And any objections? Approved. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Charlotte. All right, so up next, and this is one of the last 40 things I have to do. I need an approval of the act of director, or the acts of the directors. So this item is to pass business and resolutions for the members, approving the acts of the directors and officers of the Event Atlantic Society from the previous year. And I would like to ask a member to make that motion. Oh, I see Emma, and I see Wayne. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Perfect. Any opposition? Motion passed. So next we have the election of office or directors, and I would like to ask Stephanie Turner to come up and complete the election of the board of directors.
So I just realized there is it's not a mistake, I just was hoping he would change his mind, but Jeff's name is on there initially to as a reoffer, but he's decided to leave me, so just ignore his name up there. Event Atlantic Society is governed by a board of directors of 8 with a makeup of 2 representatives from each of the 4 Atlantic provinces. After confirmation of returning board members and review of all vacancies, a call for nominations was issued for available board seats. Following the call for nominations, it's been determined that no election is required for any province. In your AGM package, there were bios for each individual who put their name forward for the 2024-2025 term. But before I formally propose the slate of directors for the 2024-2025 term, I do have to do this formality of asking for any nominations from the floor 3 times. So, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Thank you for making my life easier. Okay. So I propose the following slate of directors for the next 2 years. Julie Arsenault for New Brunswick, Aaron Skinner for Newfoundland and Labrador, Matt Moore for Nova Scotia, and Charlotte Nicholson for PEI. I don't know why I paused there, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to approve the proposed slate of directors of Event Atlantic Society? Aaron? And seconded by other Aaron and Tanya. Thank you. I declare the following individuals, Julie Arsenault, Aaron Skinner, Matt Moore, Charlotte Nicholson, to be duly elected directors of Event Atlantic Society, commencing this date, May 1st, 2024. They will be joining, there we go. They will be joining returning board members Lindsay Smith, Tara Lynch, Chris Goss, and Emma McKenzie. Back to you.
All right, so I'm going to ask this question, but I doubt there's going to be. Is there any other further business, which probably should have been added to the agenda, but is there anything else? And I don't see anything else, so I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn. I see Chris, and I don't believe I need a second, but if I got one anyway, I got Charlotte, so I'm not going to discuss it. All in favor? Thank you very much. I declare this meeting adjourned.